Good morning, students. So, welcome to this class of English. Children, today we are going to study a new chapter, and the chapter's name is Landscape of the Soul. Landscape, if you understand and if you know, it relates to a painting. Now, when we talk about the landscape of the soul, soul means something which is inside the human body, that is inner voice or the inner light which is keeping us alive. So the landscape of the chapter, the landscape of the soul, the chapter discusses about a painting and the difference in between painting of different kinds. So before I begin to tell you what is this chapter all about, let's know about the author. So the author of this chapter is Nathalie Troveroy. She is an art historian, means she deals with history and specifically with art forms. She deals in history and specifically with art forms, and she came to limelight because of her translated work City of Zins, a book by William Dalrymple. So she had translated this work of William Dalrymple, City of Zins, and it's a most popular work, due to which she came into limelight. She is wife of Belgian ambassador to India, and she has travelled to various places in India and abroad. She holds master's degree in history of art and archaeology from University of Belgium. So she is postgraduate, and as she is an art historian, so thereby she has written about art. She has written about art forms. She has written about the difference in between the art forms. In this chapter, The Landscape of the Soul, she compares two art forms, one Chinese and second European. So if we study the theme of this chapter, this story compares European and Chinese art forms. Author presents two instances of paintings to show the difference in the perception of painters. Perception means how you feel like. See, children, if you go through any situation, your difference, what you will feel, will be totally different from the experience which I will have in the same situation. So the experience of a situation depends from person to person. Maybe the experience could be tragic for you, and for me it could be comic. So two paintings have been discussed in this chapter. So the first instance is about a Chinese painter, Wu Daozi, who paints a landscape for the emperor with great precision. So once a Chinese emperor asks the court painter or a famous painter Wu Daozi to paint something extraordinary for him. So the painter Wu Daozi paints something extraordinary, and he paints a landscape. Landscape, children, you know very well, a painting which depicts natural beauty like mountains, geysers, springs, forests and many other things. So he paints a landscape and then he asks the king to go through that painting. So the king got amazed when he saw the painting, and then the painter Wu Daozi points to him on one part of the painting where there a cave had got depicted. Then Wu Daozi claps and the door of the cave opens, and what happens after that was totally shocking. Wu Daozi enters the cave and then cave's door closes and the painting got vanished from the wall. The emperor got surprised and shocked. He could not get words, what to say, what to explain. But that is one story from the Chinese classics. The second stance or the second story which is discussed is about a blacksmith, Quentin Matsys, who fell in love with a painter's daughter, and the father of that girl was a highly appreciated painter who made very beautiful paintings. So as he himself was painter, so he dreamt that his daughter's husband or son-in-law must be a good painter. So Quentin Matsys becomes his apprentice. Apprentice means if any person works as a trainee in some department, some office or some building, just to gain experience of work, that is known as apprentice. So Quentin Matsys started working with the painter as an apprentice. One day he called the painter and asked to touch his own painting, and the painter again here got shocked to find something in his own painting which was actually delicate realism. It means it appeared to be the part of painting, but it was not the part of painting. Maybe some leaf which appeared to be the part of painting, but it was just fixed there. So this chapter deals with these two stories. Then this chapter deals with the art brut, A-R-T, art, B-R-U, brut. Art brut or outsider art, which is nowadays very popular. You might have visited the rock gardens in Chandigarh. They are, what you say, the recyclable materials or the waste materials have been used there to create various art forms, and that art form is not limited inside a room or a building. That art form is outside. That's why that is known as outsider art, or art breath. So in this chapter we discuss about something which is known as painting. And where does a painting touches the soul? Where a painter becomes a superior or a godly painter? Let me tell you one story you might have read somewhere. Two friends were there who used to live in an apartment, and one day one friend fell ill, and actually she was a timid kind of creature. So she believed that now she will die. Just in front of that girl who was ill, there was a window pane, and next to window pane there was a plant who was in fact shedding its leaves day by day. Actually, God knows how that thought came in her mind. In fact, she started believing that one day when all the leaves will fall down from that plant, she will also die. Her friend got worried about her, because children, if you are strong from inside, you can face any situation. But if you are not strong, you are weak from inside, then it's very difficult to face even a very simple situation. So same was the case with that ill girl. She was broken from inside. She had a different type of perspective, which was actually not real. So her friend, who was worried, she actually met a painter who used to live in the first floor. And when all the leaves had fallen down of that plant, only 2-3 were remaining. So that friend of that ill girl called a painter who actually painted a leaf on that plant, and it appeared so real that nobody could differentiate whether it is a real leaf or a false leaf or a fake leaf. And the painter painted that fake leaf on a rainy day, and sadly that painter died due to fever. But that ill girl survived magically because of her thought, which she had in her mind, that one day when the last leaf of this plant will fall down, I will also die. So that girl survived just because of that painter, who in fact died just to save that girl. So children, that is the beauty of painting. So here in this chapter, Landscape of the Soul, we are going to discuss the beauty of painting soul. So children, that's all in this part of the video, where I have told you about the author and the theme of the chapter. In the next video, I will explain you about the chapter. So that's all for today. Thank you.